All right, ladies and gentlemen, college football week 8 is here, and man, we have some blockbuster matchups, mainly in the SEC conference. I'm going to hit on a couple of different matchups we've got going on this week, but mainly two big ones that I think are going to have some big playoff and conference championship implications. We got College Game Day at Georgia versus Texas, and then we also have an absolute barn burner in Knoxville, Tennessee, Alabama versus Tennessee. I think both of these games are going to have huge implications on the rest of the SEC, but also just the entirety of college football. So let's talk about it. Let's start with Texas versus Georgia. In my opinion, I think Georgia has a lot more of a chance at winning this game than people are giving them credit for. To me, Texas's big standout wins are Oklahoma and Michigan, and really Michigan isn't even looking that great right now. They're ranked number 24 right now. I don't think they should be ranked at all. They're about to go into number 22 Illinois. I believe they're going to lose that game and probably drop to being not ranked. So I don't know if Texas's quality of opponents is as good as Georgia's has been. Georgia, on the other hand, has beaten one of the best teams in the ACC in Clemson. They went on the road in a tough Alabama environment, barely lost that game, almost came back and won that game if it wasn't for a spectacular play at the end of the game by Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams. So I do think that Georgia has had a little bit of a tougher schedule than Texas. Now, they are going into Texas. Texas will be hosting this game, which makes it even more difficult. But I think Georgia just has that big game experience a little bit more than Texas might. And I think that could carry them to a possible victory here. I'm not saying they are going to win, but if I had to bet on it, I'm very tempted to go Georgia here. Quentin Ewers is still coming off of that injury. He might not be his normal self. We don't know. I think it's all up in the air right now, but I think Carson Beck is finally getting into that rhythm. I think he's going to have a good game tomorrow. I just think this could be a razor-tight game, whereas I think a lot of people think that Texas is going to end up running away with this. I don't think that's the case at all. I think Georgia wins a very close game here and makes this whole SEC ranking very competitive. Another game I want to look at a little bit is LSU going on the road to Arkansas. Now, I think Arkansas has a chance to put up a good fight in this game. I think Arkansas is a very good team this year. They're currently sitting at a 4-2 ranking. LSU sitting at a 5-1 ranking and number 8 in the country. I think this is LSU's ticket to potentially get their way into the college football playoffs this year. I think if they beat Arkansas, especially on the road, I think that could set them up for some really good success. I know they still have to host Alabama, play a couple of other difficult games, but I think LSU has a really good team this year. Besides that one loss early on in the year that they really could have won, that's going to make it a lot harder for them to get into the playoffs, but they still very well could. Especially with how stacked the SEC is now, I could very well see 4 or 5 teams getting into the playoffs. I could see Georgia, Texas, Bama, Tennessee, and LSU all getting into the playoffs, but I think it's going to be hard for LSU if they lose this game to Arkansas, and Arkansas is not going to be any pushover. They're 4-2. They're hosting this game. You already know that's going to be a rowdy crowd up in Arkansas, and I think that they're going to put up a fight. But give me LSU in a close game because I think LSU is really on a roll right now this season, and I think they're going to make a big playoff push towards the end of the year, especially if they can knock off Alabama in Death Valley. All right, the last game I want to talk about. It's going to hit deep because this is my team, Alabama. I think, and this could be a bold statement, maybe not, I think this is Alabama's make or break for this season. And maybe just like this team in general. Like, Alabama cannot afford to lose this game to Tennessee. They cannot drop to 2 losses this early on in the year, with a game against LSU coming, with a game on the road against Oklahoma coming, with a game against Missouri coming. They cannot lose this game to Tennessee. And I have no idea what to think if they're going to win this game, because they've proven to me that they can beat top teams in the country like Georgia, and then they've proven they can lose to some mid-tier teams like Vanderbilt and even South Carolina, who put up a great fight against them in Bryant-Denny Stadium. That's something we haven't seen a mid-tier SEC team do in forever, put up a fight in Bryant-Denny Stadium. We've seen some really good teams come into Bryant-Denny Stadium, put up a fight, but we haven't seen one of those mid-tier SEC, that like a South Carolina game is a typical like beatdown for Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium. So the fact that this game's going to be in Rocky Top makes it a little bit more difficult for me to predict. If it was in Bryant-Denny, I might would lean towards Alabama, but I am just so 50-50 about this game. One thing I will say is Tennessee's most notable win is coming against Oklahoma right now, and Oklahoma is they're an okay team. They're not the best team, but their other wins, I'm looking at it right here. Florida, which Florida's kind of in. Then you have like the NC States, the Kent States, the Chattanoogas of the world. They lost to Arkansas, which again just proves my point. I think Arkansas is going to be a good team this year. They're no pushover for LSU. But Tennessee has proven that they can maybe lose games that they shouldn't lose, whereas Alabama has actually done the exact same thing, so it just makes it so hard for me to predict. For the same reasons that I'm picking Georgia to beat Texas, I'm going to pick Bama to barely skate by here against Texas. I think they have enough big game experience. I think Milroe is going to be poised enough to make some plays late in the game where he's going to know what to do because he's been in those game situations before in Rocky Top with the crowd going absolutely wild. I think that he can help pull it out for this team. I think he can take over a game, give him the ball if they're tied or down by 3 with 6 or 5 minutes left. I think he's the type of player to be able to drain clock and get points up on the board to put his team ahead late if he needs to. I don't think he's going to panic. I think he can get that done. So give me Bama by anywhere from 3 to 10 points, but I could very well see this going to Tennessee, and I think the winner of this game is going to put themselves in a great position to make a college football playoff run and an SEC championship run. Tennessee still has to go and play Georgia later this year. Bama still has to go and play the likes of LSU, the likes of Missouri. But man, big drama in the SEC here at Week 8. That's all I've got for you guys. I will definitely be sitting down watching these games. I know you guys will too. If you enjoy this channel, please like and subscribe for more college football, college basketball, NBA, NFL, MMA, boxing, whatever you want. Some just good sports content, and I'll see you guys on the next video.